what does winning mean? Say with Reinhard, what does winning mean for you?
For me, winning means achieving the intended results and much more. And then when all is said and done, you feel greatly fulfilled.
Okay.
Yes.
So for you, does it mean you getting what you want, or sometimes you not getting what you want? Sometimes could be winning.
Good. When I do not get what I want, there's a lesson I will also get out of it. Okay. Because I believe people who are born naturally as entrepreneurs or founders or CEOs, their lives will move in phases and in seasons where they are eventually going to be defined by the battles they won and those they lost.
Okay.
So for those they won, of course, they envisioned a winning. Mm-hmm. But for what they lost, well, they never saw it coming. But if they sit back and think through what just happened, there are great lessons that are valuable that you will mix with the winning bit, and then actually that's what creates balance.
Okay.
Because again, if you win all through, you might never know the other side of the divide. And if you do not get a taste of the other side of the coin, you might not appeal to the entire community. You will only appeal to a section of those who are defined by winning. Okay. Then now you encounter this other side of the coin, you might be less effective in helping them, equipping them, and also showing them the way. So I agree. Winning is a blend of the battles won and victories celebrated, and then whatever you also lose along the way.
Okay. What does winning mean for you, Eric?
I also agree with Reinhard here, but for me, I really believe winning could be more of having a better society.
Okay.
Yeah, I borrow a lot from the late Right Honorable Raila Odinga. I borrows a lot from him.
Sure.
This guy could actually lost elections. May his soul rest in peace, by the way. Yeah, he lost elections severally, and there are instances that even the common mwananchi felt this one was fairly for Baba. Like this one Baba won, but Baba could still concede and say, for the betterment of the country,
let's move forward.
Let's work with everybody. And move forward. So to me, I really believe that in any space, any initiative, any mandate that we have as individuals, we win when we have this space of influence, we leave it better than we found it. To me, that is a win for me.
Okay.
Exactly.
But sometimes still on your mentor Raila, who is very impactful.
Yes.
Very, very beyond just Kenya. I think continentally he is very impactful to so many people.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right.
But during his journey, what does it mean for you when you see somebody who mentors you fail?
To me, I don't know exactly what you mean when you say what it means for me, but to me, when I see my people who mentored me, when I see them fail, one, it gives me a motivation that in your journey, failing is part of the process. Okay. I think it gives me that conviction that, sometimes we start, like I told you, one of my weaknesses is accepting a failure.
Okay.
Is starting something and then accepting that this thing has failed, and therefore I give up and opt for something else that this one has failed. Okay. It's hard. But sometimes when I see people who have gone before me, who have traveled that journey before, fail, it then tells me that really failing is part of the success.
Okay.
That for you to reach your destination, part of your experience is going to be that you must fail in one or two. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I see, because what I meant by seeing them fail is sometimes people who mentor us or people that we look up to them so much that their weaknesses are almost non-existent. Like when a child looks at their father, they don't think there's anything that their father cannot do.
Exactly.
You understand?
Exactly.
So sometimes there are people who have not humanized their mentors or the people that they look up to so much that you don't think they're capable of failure, that when they do, it breaks you.
I think it's true, yes. But from my perspective, I would say it is important we accept all options because, one, they say the wise, they learn from other people's mistakes. You know, certain failures are as a result of certain mistakes we make in life. And no human being is susceptible, is immune. No human being is immune to failure.
Sure.
I mean, to mistakes. And every mistake you make has consequences that come with it. And part of it is the failure that we're talking about.
Okay.
So I think what I would say as an opinion from my end is that our mentors, when they fail, it is good that we dig deeper into the root causes of such failures. Even when you go back to the Bible, there are very many people that failed. Yeah, I'm a reader of the spiritual book, the Bible. I know not all of us believe in the Bible, but I personally believe in the Bible. So in my reading of the Bible, I realized that there are many characters in the Bible who failed, and when we try to dig deeper into the causes, there was quite a couple of mistakes that they made. Okay. So I think as in terms of maybe looking at our mentors and what have you, it is better we learn from their mistakes and try to avoid, because they say only fools repeat mistakes. You get? So the fact that they have failed, we could be able to learn from that as well. And then we can emphasize more on their strengths, what they did well that made them succeed. Because for you to look up to somebody, it means this person is successful in one way or the other. So in as much as there are elements of failures, but there are also very many good things that we are learning from them. So we emphasize and reinforce the strengths. But the weaknesses, the weak areas, possibly we could try and avoid so that we don't end up at the same point. Okay. Otherwise, we'd be termed as fools. God forbid.
That's very profound. How about you, Reinhard? Who mentored you? Because he's spoken about Raila, and Raila's journey is very public.
Yeah.
Everybody knows about how consistent he's been, how many times people believed he was done, and then somehow he would be reborn like a phoenix. And he's bigger than he may have been before, which is very inspiring.
Yeah.
Who mentored you that may have failed publicly, and then it reminded you that he's just human, and just like him, you can also have the same experience?
So back in my high school, I greatly admired my maths teacher, and looking at the speed with which he was moving, the having a firm grasp of his profession, and he used to tell us stories of other things he was doing. Now, I used to look at him, I'm like, later in life, I may want also to build my life around something bearing same semblance as him. But, of course, no human is immortal.
Sure.
And see him strip in one way or the other, first reinforce the fact that truly you can never get a 10 out of 10, though that would be the aim and the aspiration of everyone. But again, when you do not get what you wanted to get, first you should appreciate the 7 out of 10 you got. And secondly, the 3 out of 10 that was not achieved now becomes a benchmark. Now you sit in retrospect and ask yourself, if he could not achieve this, why? Just like Mr. Eric has ably said, why didn't this come alive? And what can I learn out of this? Because again, I believe the reason we look up to the people we look up to, I think should not only be pegged on them winning all their wins. Should not only be pegged on that, because I believe inspiration is for spiritual people like us. It is beyond what we can see from the human perspective. Okay. There is an inspiration that comes beyond the talk, word of mouth, and what you see people do. And as long as I have found myself in that space where I feel empowered, I feel motivated, and I feel inspired by whatever they're doing, I should be settled to the extent that I am still able to pursue my dreams more, courtesy of their existence around my mentorship covering.
Okay.
And with that, I will consider less their failures and more, not only their wins, but the overall role they're playing in my general progress.
Okay.
Yes.
Can I add just something small on that? Yeah.
Sure.
Actually, in his speech, that has just reminded me of something. I think Mwinami, in our aspirations to look up to certain mentors in life, I would really recommend this. It is better you follow the personalities that have failed the highest number of times and have still emerged. Because if you only follow people that have just succeeded, because one thing I've also come to realize in life, adulthood has taught me so many things. One of the things I've come to realize over the years that I've lived on this planet Earth is that challenges could be more than the opportunities. You know, exactly. Challenges are actually more.
Sure.
So if you're not trained on how to overcome the challenges, then success will be quite difficult for you.
Okay.
Exactly. So I would really propose that you talked about the late Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. Yeah, he failed severally, but in all this, he was still every time he kept rebranding, recreating himself and still emerging victorious. The other day somebody talks of tutaweka mitego. Sorry,
No pressure.
and you find him right.
Ameshikwa na hiyo mtego.
You find him right at the State House. You see. So I think for me, I would propose that we follow the guys that have failed the highest number of times, but have still emerged victorious. Because again, if you check possibly how they manage to maneuver through the challenges, at least that will harden us, and we are likely to have a smaller chance of failing in life.
Okay.
Exactly.
Why do you think then young people today are very obsessed with winning, that anytime they fail on something or they incur or find a hurdle of sorts, they feel somewhat depressed or feel that the world is closing in on them and that they are irrelevant, that they are of no importance? Why is that amongst young people today more than the older generation, millennials and up?
I think we have two challenges. I would point it to two challenges. One is the issue of parenting.
Okay.
Mwinami, long time ago, when you were growing up and still very young, actually in preschool, pre-primary. We used to have nursery school.
Yes.
These things we have PP1 and PP2. They never used to be there.
Nursery class 1 up.
Exactly. Remember those days when you used to hold your ear this way?
Yeah. If you have that impression next year, then you're not going to school.
Those are get promoted.
Yes.
I mean, there were very good teachings from our elders. I mean, I remember we could be called to our granny's place and you are taught. You could be taught good manners, how to communicate to big people. I mean, when an elderly person comes, you stand, you allow them to sit. We could be taught so many good things. But today, we have a challenge of career.
Okay.
Life has come with so much pressure that most of the time the parents are at work. Actually, most parents come back home, especially in our towns. Most parents, they come back home. We don't get these teachings, Your parents could teach you, this is how you need to do life. This is how you need, when you are marrying, this is how you need to do it. I mean, how to do life, you could be taught that. But today, I'm telling you, life is putting so much pressure on the parent that most of the time the parent is preoccupied with work. They are doing work.
Do you think, before you finish, do you think in part, because back then I was raised in a village, or say I grew up with my grandparents, my uncles, my aunties, so I understand that background.
Yes.
Do you think partly the fact that these children only know their parent and are not exposed to the grandparents or the wide extended family means they don't understand life beyond the immediate circle, and so if the parent fails, then they don't have anybody else that feel is supportive enough?
Not necessarily, though, but could be true to an extent. But what I meant is that the parent, first of all, leave alone even the grandparents, even the parent is not even available to mentor the child. These children, they grow up with the maids, they grow up with the caregivers, the strangers who when you employ somebody in a company, most of the time, their focus is primarily on the money you're giving them, but not really to grow the company. The growth of the company is clearly with the managers, the owners of the company, the directors. And
Somebody who's invested.
Exactly. So the person who has given birth to the child knows how much they value the child. But if you leave this child back at home with the caregivers and the maids back at home, they may not put in whatever the character traits that we need in this child. So the absence of the parents to do proper mentorship, that is one. Number two, we have the social media, the TikToks of this world. I'm telling you, the people on social media, the TikToks, the Facebook, the X Spaces, and what have you, they only tell us what they know, would love to hear. Actually, when somebody shows up, like today, we are on this show, people will only tell you about their success, their winning side of their life. They will not tell you about their so that is what the current generation, the alpha generation, they want to identify with, just the winning side of everybody, not knowing that before you see the Safaricom of today, there is a price that was paid sometime back, way back, very many years ago. There was a price. There's somebody that paid a lot of price for you to see the Safaricom that you see today. The big companies, the big hotels that you see today, they started with a foundation that was not, quite interesting to see. So that part no one tells you. So the social media will just tell you the best of the best.
So where does their obsession with winning or wanting it to be like what they seem to be, where does that obsession come from?
Because of what they see. Actually, let me tell you, most of the time you will tend to follow more what you see.
You exemplified what?
Exactly. Okay. What they see, what we see on social media today, TV, you only want to see, I want to be like the news anchor. Okay. And that is what they want. So if you tell them that before you become a news anchor, you have to pass abstract algebra, you have to pass algebra back at high school, they will not be able to. When you see people successful today, they will not understand that way back. I remember when you were in school, even the whatever, how do you call it, the table, the maths table, you had to cram and master the whole of it.
I think behind every exercise book, there was always a mathematical table.
I'm telling you, and you had to cram that. You had
one
to cram.
Times one, 1 times 2.
Exactly. So the current generation, they just want to see the product, they're not knowing that before you see a product, there was a seed that was planted.
Okay.
Exactly.
Say, Reinhard, what difficulties do you think, in your experience, these young people think is a difficulty, but it's not a difficulty because to you, you're exposed to it prior? The challenges that to you are not necessarily challenges because it comes second nature to you, but to them it's a difficulty that can almost send them to depression because it's not familiar.
Thank you. Two things which I will highlight then expound on. One is the pain of the process. And secondly is the pain of the illusion of failure. Now, you've said a lot of things. I'm just trying to connect it with what you are saying so that I can make it more constructive. But we have such a thing as the pop culture, or rather the popular culture. And the popular culture is being pushed through art, through music and movies, that is. And of course, the media is playing a huge role in shaping what people, the Bible says, as a man thinketh, so he is. And before you think, you must first see. If you watch those the media visuals, you hear the language of the popular culture, and you also interact with a cocoon of the products of this culture. Now, that one has pushed our generation to a corner where they are only exposed to the glamour, the beauty, good life, good vehicles.
Okay.
So they are immediately introduced to the outcome. And the same people who are introducing them to this outcome are careful not to send them back to the quarry where there is a pain of the process. Because in the quarry there is the making.
Sure.
In the quarry there is you need to learn a skill. You need to learn how to communicate. You need to wake up early. You need to grind. You need to heavy lift. They are not exposed or rather introduced to that. And this one leaves them half-baked. Yet again, the same culture that they are rushing to embrace wants them to match up with it. So they want to dress nicely. They want to speak like their idols, as they call them. They want to dress like them. And they end up spending much of their time looking, listening, and admiring, and less making. Because again, if you have to win your way. I, as Reinhard, I have to win as Reinhard. I have to win based on what was put in me before I was born. Why even am I alive? I have to win as somebody who was sent to this world to help people build themselves and whatnot. And for me to discover that path, I have to subject myself to the pain of the process.
Okay.
If I fail to do that, I will want to embrace praise and the gratitudes of the outcome, which will now leave me with limited options. Key to them being wanting shortcuts.
Okay.
Because when you have nothing in your hand to approach the mountain ahead of you, you might want to steal what is someone else's hand, or even steal someone else's mountain, or steal someone else's victory, or shortchange us and whatnot. So what they fear is they don't run the process, and again, they are not aware that even in failure, failure in itself is not the end of the road. Perhaps at times when you fail, it's just a communication. Slow down, take a halt, reroute. Because again, I believe that our failures, when compounded, because you're talking about the late Raila Amolo Odinga, and one of the things that his so-called failures greatly enabled our country to achieve is what we call jurisprudence. I don't know whether I am...
That's a very big word.
Yes. You see, even as I pronounce it, I am questioning my legal expertise, even in trying to unpack the same. But the many times he would go to the courts of law to interpret and understand the sections of the law as regards elections. Over time, we have built a strong legal background as regards elections. And therefore, today, if something happens in voting does not go as anticipated, it is easy for our magistrates and our judges to find solutions quite easily.
Okay.
So his failure might have appeared as pain to himself and to his followers. But on the other side, it was acting as a point of building something.
Okay.
And so I'm actually rethinking how I defined winning. And I'm even saying winning could even be something like making progress. So long as you are able to make progress, make progress in line with what you want to achieve, whether it is something that gives you joy in the interim or not. But so long as you're not as you are and you're still onward, you're marching forward, then you should be winning.
You said something about the illusion of failure. How does the illusion of failure contribute to them not accepting what is and aspiring for what they may never get?
For some of us whom have tested all sides of life, such a thing as failure is actually not a big thing. It is part and parcel of our existence.
Okay.
Because there's such a thing as failing forward. If I fail forward, how I have failed is actually an arsenal, is a tool in my hand that I'm going to use to do the next.
Okay.
Yeah, the next thing.
Okay.
And so for them, if they fail to get that lifestyle, whatever they were aspiring for, they immediately consider themselves as doomed. Why? Because they pegged their success,
The identity.
their identity, and their life's fulfillment on the achievement of this one thing, which must be, someone said, must be opposed, must be rejected,
Challenged, yes.
yeah, but yeah, should be challenged and debunked.
Okay.
Because that is not the point. The point is, so long as you have understood your identity, who are you, and what are you designed to do, and you pursue that, anything that comes as a challenge or as a failure is just a challenge to reshape your mindset, redefine you, and help you come back big and better. Okay. And so when they fail, they should know that that is not failure. That's why I call it an illusion.
Okay. The illusion of failure.
The illusion of failure. It is not failure per se. It is just a soft communication of, you should have done this other way. And because if you analyze the failures that you refer to as failures from January to this month, you realize that when they're put together, they have made you to come to a point which you wouldn't have attained had you not failed.
Okay.
So the failure is an illusion.
For them it is.
For them.
Okay. And Eric, for you, how do you, also I think that maybe there's a part you might want to chime in on his contribution, but how do you isolate yourself in building your solid identity? Because there's a place where you may peg your entire life on being a parent, that in case you make a mistake in raising your child, you see yourself as somebody who is worthless, because parenting, some believe it to be a very divine, superior responsibility that supersedes anything else. There are some whose identity is pegged on the entrepreneurial path, for those who are entrepreneurs, that once my business fails, I don't think there's anything else I can ever contribute to this world. So how do you isolate yourself from your responsibility as a family man or as an entrepreneur when you're seated by yourself? How do you see yourself that had you not had this, what would you define yourself as?
I am not very certain whether I got the question correctly, but I really believe all these are very, very important.
Sure.
Yeah. From a parenting perspective, I really believe that every parent would want to see their children succeed.
Sure.
So if your children fail to succeed, that will be the most unfortunate thing that can happen to a parent.
What does it mean for the children to succeed?
Success is wide, but I really believe in this case, when you talk about a child succeeding, at least they become responsible members of the society. Okay. Or rather, when people look at them, actually, Bonke's viewpoint of what success is and my viewpoint, to me, could be different.
Okay.
Or even you, Mwinami.
Sure.
They could be different. But from where I sit, I really believe that your parents should mirror your vision.
Okay.
Exactly. So there's somebody who never graduated. They left school in class 8 or grade 6. Oh, today, maybe class 8, yeah.
Yeah.
Class 8, right? But they were very smart, only that they didn't get an opportunity. So they're saying, I wish I had money. I would have become a doctor. Actually, they see somebody giving a talk on TV about medical stuff, and they're saying, if I just had money, I would have been there today. So if your children are able to mirror your vision, you say, I was never a medic, but at least by and by, your child ends up becoming that. To me,
That would be success.
it gives a parent a comfort.
What
In
if-
as much as...
What if you are limited in your exposure? So you only interacted with the doctors or whichever profession you aspired for.
Yeah.
But your child has interacted with somebody at a different level than you, and so he thinks, I want to be a news anchor because I want to tell stories. And you were driven and passionate about the medical field.
It's okay. It's fine. Again, like, you can't force a child. For example, I wanted to be, maybe by now, I ought to have been a politician. Of course, I don't know whether I'm going to be. God knows.
Life is very funny. Yeah, it will surprise you.
That one, you cannot leave it to the creator. Yeah, whether I'm going to vie and succeed, that one, you cannot leave it to the creator. But I really believe that seeing your child to that level, for example, maybe you never graduated, but seeing your child graduate, even if it's not just medicine, maybe they just graduate as teachers. And then after some time, maybe you see them interacting with medics, lawyers, and what have you. At least most of the friends, you see, total, when a child comes back home, you see most of the friends the child is hanging up with are the people that you really look up to. Then to me, that would really
They
give...
contribute something.
Yeah, exactly. It would mean a lot to a parent.
Okay.
Yeah.
That says something.
Yeah.
But then again, can you separate your aspirations from your child? Is there a way? Because to a great extent, we may find ourselves imposing what we wanted on our children, that any intent on their side to pull back seems like rebellion.
From where I sit, I don't think that is rebellion. To me, you should allow the child to be what they want to be.
Okay.
As long as it's not outside the norm, it's something that is acceptable within the confines of our expectations in the society today. You should support a child to pursue their vision.
Okay.
Yeah, people are influenced differently. Maybe I was aspiring to be an engineer and I never became, but my child is aspiring to be a doctor. I think I need to influence them and support them to become
Towards
that.
becoming
It's
doctor.
better. It's easier becoming something that you are... Actually, I discussed it so much with Honorable Bonke. We keep arguing about that you are likely to succeed in something that you are more passionate about. And you are likely to struggle with something that you are less passionate about.
Okay.
So if the child is passionate about things to do with medicine and stuff like that, please support them. They will end up doing so much. They will end up excelling. They will end up standing out in that.
Okay.
But you see, if you impose them into something, you can be in something, you look like you are successful in it, but then you are just struggling. You end up with depression. You are in it, but you are not. You're enjoying, but this person is doing a very good job. How comes they're not happy about it? It is because they are not accepting it. People see it as something that is very good. You influence what you are passionate and what you control. You are likely to be more influential in something that you like and you are passionate about. So if you force the child to be an engineer, when they wanted to become a lawyer, they'll be in the engineering, but they'll be a failed engineer. We've seen so many, many.
That's true.
You see a child maybe becoming a lawyer because the parent wanted them to be, but then they end up becoming a failed lawyer. They're not doing so much as as it would be expected of them. We expected this person to be the next Orengos, but you're wondering, how come this person is underperforming? It's because you forced them to become what they really didn't want to. Oh, of course, they didn't like it. They are not passionate about that. So to me, by the way, I'm a firm believer that there are no bad courses at the university.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer there are no bad courses at the university. A course is a course.
But there might be obsolete courses. You're studying it, but it's not going to be significant in 2, 3, 5 years moving upwards. So it's not bad, but it's insignificant to the future of...
I don't know whether there exist such courses at the university. But I really believe that getting that is my belief. Maybe it could be right or wrong, but I really believe getting the first degree course, the degree course in whatever that you are pursued, the child is supposed just to use that to influence the society using that, depending on how they want to use it. Maybe somebody has done sociology. What are you doing with? Could you mention such kind of a course that could be obsolete in the near future that is studied at the university today? A good example?
Journalism.
Journalism. How? Is it going to be obsolete?
Because journalism nowadays is not about reporting.
Okay.
It's about curating a perspective. You're not telling people what happened.
Exactly.
You're telling people what they should feel about what has happened.
Exactly. And now now you've answered my question. Now, that's what I'm saying now. Allow the child to pursue what they want, but then they need to be mentored, and then they need to be told that once you graduate, whatever the course that you have pursued, make sure you are as creative as possible. The world is now becoming digital. AI is almost taking over the world. Please be as creative and innovative as possible. It can't be like it used to be that I'm going to school to get a job.
Sure.
The children or in the contemporary setup should be taught that immediately you graduate, think of becoming a job creator. Think of be as creative and innovative as possible, and then you'll just survive. Irrespective, I am a firm believer, Mwinami. I am a firm believer that it doesn't matter the course you've taken. As long as you are creative. The only challenge we have with the current crop of students graduating from the universities, I would say they are lazy. Sorry, maybe I might be taken to court, but I would say they are not willing to go an extra mile. The people just graduate, and then most of them, they just want to, some of them are in the houses. I see them. I'm sorry to say that. I see some of them are my brothers, some of them are my sisters, some of them are my cousins. We are with them. I see the way they carry out themselves. They have graduated, they're just there in the house, they're not doing anything. They're not starting anything. They're just there.
Actually, to a great extent, I'd agree with you.
Yeah.
That university in itself, the problem is we were sent to school to go graduate to get a job.
To get a job. That's what the problem is.
If I were to send my kid to school, it would be to meet people, learn how people behave in certain scenarios, get information, and also understand different cadres of life.
Exactly.
In an academic
How do you
environment.
fit? Exactly. How do you fit in there? What influence can you have there? What impact? If you look at it from that point of view, I would tell you there is no course that is better than university. I'm telling you. I'm very certain without fear of contradiction.
So the goal is not the course.
The goal is not the course. It's the impact and the influence. That is just supposed to be the tool that is helping you impact on your environment.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's do you agree, Reinhard?
That
it doesn't matter the course you've taken at the university.
There's something you touched on. They didn't call it as it is, but you were talking about it, the identity crisis.
Yeah.
I believe that one of the greatest responsibilities we have as a society, especially those who have gone ahead, is we are the caretakers of the next generation, their health status, their condition, and everything at large. Their wholesome excellence is with us.
Okay.
Because we are going to be the people they are looking up to. People likely they look up to those who are ahead of them.
Okay.
And therefore, as people who are ahead of some people, it is incumbent on us to stage such lifestyles that is worthy of emulation. Not only emulation, but also should be a model that people can go through it and then they get baptized for excellence.
Okay.
Now, when we fail to recognize that we can be the agents propagating the identity crisis in the life of those we are upbringing, we may end up being not effective in raising them. And therefore, we should allow them to discover who they are, and it is our duty to magnify their true identity.
Okay.
Provide a platform for incubation, provide a platform for nurturing, and show them the way. It is up to that extent that when now they step their feet onto our campuses, they're able to even identify the right company they should hang around
Okay.
to shape the discovered identity, so that they know that whatever they should build, whatever they are building, is not entirely defined by the four perimeter walls of the institution,
Okay.
but is going to be defined by the culture they're going to subject themselves into.
Okay.
Because one of my closest friends normally tells me, if you hang around 10 millionaires, you are the 11th millionaire.
How true is that, though?
We are shaped by our immediate environment. For me to be a millionaire, I must think like one.
How do millionaires think?
They think so. First, they dream big in terms of having ideas that can translate into such millions.
Mm-hmm.
They think well. I believe most of the guys who are millionaires or have huge sums of money are not in employment.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the top 10 richest people in the US, for example, you discover they are entrepreneurs. Well, a greater percentage are Jews. Well, that would be subject for another day. but they are solving something in the society.
Sure.
And no one can ever go wrong when they discover the entrepreneurial path.
Okay.
And an entrepreneur can never think like a chicken. They think like an eagle. They fly high, and they strive for situations where they're going to have superior conversations, intelligent conversations. They meet CEOs, they meet these big guys, so that your aspirations match the steps you are taking.
Is it not possible that the fact that if you hang around millionaires, you become a millionaire, or that you should think like an eagle even though you're a chicken, is that not you denying yourself? You're not accepting who you are, and as a result, are not dealing with problems that are unique to you. So you start dealing with problems that are dealing with eagles, and you're a chicken. You start thinking about problems of millionaires, and we are still...
I get you. That's a deep one. But thank God I got it.
Okay.
In terms of identity, that would be an absurdity.
Okay.
If I want to deny my identity and run away from it because I am now hanging around certain quarters, then that is unacceptable. It wouldn't benefit me. Now, if you view it from this perspective of being an eagle is a status, being a chicken is a status. So the status of an eagle is built from being a chicken first. You must think small, hang out with the small, and then you graduate. You grow feathers and wings, and then you now begin to learn how to fly. You fall, and then you master it, and then are able to fly, and then you fly high, high, and higher.
Okay.
So long as my thought pattern is shaped by my identity, then I am able to migrate from being the chicken of my identity to becoming the chicken. Becoming the eagle of my identity.
Okay.
I'm still within the same path. I don't know whether I got it, but that is.
But just a rejoinder before as Eric comes in. Part of my thinking would be, and maybe I'm wrong on this, is if I'm a chicken, the best thinking would be, how can I rise to the top of the chicken ranks, become the best chicken or the top chicken in whatever ranking system is used.
Wow.
If I'm an eagle, how do I become the best eagle in whatever ranking or whatever metric defines the best eagle, instead of as a chicken, looking at myself as an eagle, instead of as a I'm still struggling between jobs. I'm an intern, but now I'm thinking like a millionaire. That is, you understand?
I get
but
you.
As now you think about that, what do you think about the idea you hang around millionaires, you become, because I would argue part of what is killing our generation is we've absorbed so many quotes that we've stopped finding the rationale in them.
The rationale.
How true is it you hang around millionaires to become a millionaire?
I think it is true to some extent, depending on how you would want to consume. Actually, that information could be disastrous if not handled with care.
Okay.
Yeah, if you hang out with millionaires, with eagles when you are a chicken, if you're not careful, you might tend to fly too high when your feathers are still not strong enough to hold you at that height. That's why we said that information, if not handled with care, it can be disastrous.
Okay.
But if it is consumed constructively, to me, it would be the best. It would be the best. So it depends on the recipient, whoever is receiving this. How do you, and that is the role of mentorship. Don't do things the way Eric does, because you don't know where I'm coming from. You know, you might see me do things the way I do them today, but possibly before I reached where I am today, I must have struggled a lot before. So I might have not started from where you are seeing me today. So the fact that I am living in Runda, running a business, does not make you also maybe look for a house in Runda. You might not. You will go there because you're seeing you have maybe some 3-4 millions in the bank, and then you go pick a house from there. But then is it sustainable?
It's not.
Before you know it, that 4 million is done, and you still need to keep up. Will you? That is how depression will come in.
I see.
So I would say that if it is handled with care, constructively, it's the best. Because one, the people, what you hear is very important, and what you see is also very important. What you hear, but then what you do and how you do it is also very important. And that's why I think it's him who talked about the process is equally important. Yes, I'm a chicken, but I want to be an eagle. The reason why I like the fact that hanging out with millionaires is a good thing is because in a small way you will tend to start behaving like a millionaire even if you're not one. And I couple it with, or I try to integrate it with what you're saying, that if I'm a chicken or if I'm not a millionaire, an average human being, then I would first and foremost, I need to start. You know, they say first things first. Yeah. You cannot climb the tree from the top.
Sure.
I think the first thing that I need to do, if I am not in the category of millionaires, yes, I'm already hanging out with millionaires, is to be the best among the average people first. Then now, we should not be contented with just being the best. You don't say that I live in Thika Road, but I think I'm the highest earner among the people that are living along Thika Road. And I say now, I think now I need to start stretching myself to move towards the other side of CBD. Exactly. You get. So when you live with, when you hang out with millionaires, if you're not, you're likely to be one in the nearest future. It's easier as compared to when you don't, because you might think that where you are is heaven when it's not. You know, even millionaires, they still look up to certain people. Even the richest of this world, they still meet certain people and they say, "Hey, I wish I was so and so."
There's always somebody they aspire to.
Exactly. So that quote, whatever, that if you hang out with 9 millionaires, then you are likely to be the 10th millionaire in the nearest future. Or if you hang out with 10
losers,
you are likely to be the 11th millionaire in the nearest future. To me, it is true, but whoever is watching this video outside there, that must really be handled with care.
Not everything. Don't consume it as a whole.
Don't consume it raw. Please digest, get to understand how does it apply, how do you start, at what point to begin to do things like millionaires do. So it's good to start small and do baby steps, and eventually you'll find yourself there. Exactly.
At some point you talked about leadership, you talked about thinking about politics.
Yes.
What does good governance mean for you?
To me is impact. I think it would start, I would call it impact. Good governance should have an impact in the society. Today we look at Raila Amolo Odinga in the political space and we say he did his very best. Why? It's because of influence. Today there are people that have confessed and say, were it not for Raila Amolo Odinga, the late Raila Amolo Odinga would not be where I am today. So it is about impact. Nairobi County, as a county, I don't want to speak for the citizens of Nairobi County. But Nairobi County, I'm a resident of Nairobi County. Actually, I work in CBD, in the Central Business District of Nairobi County. You get?
Yes.
I know the challenges that we are facing. I know the challenges we faced last year. I know the challenges we faced about 2, 3, 4 years ago. If you look at Nairobi County last year, and you look at it today, I don't want to speak for the citizens of Nairobi County. But if you're able to say that last year we had 10 challenges in Nairobi County as a county, in one of the 47 counties. We look at Nairobi County and we are able to count one, we had this challenge, this one, we had this. You are able to count 10. 2 years down the line, you say, in as much as these problems were 10, but at least even one of them has been solved. Completely, you look and you say, one problem is X. Completely, no citizen can say that problem still exists.
So that is progress.
To me, that is good governance.
Okay.
Progress is gradual. You cannot solve all the problems in one day. Nobody can lie to us that they can solve all the problems in one single day. But at least if you can look back and say, last month, I'm zeroing in on Nairobi County because that's where I spent the bulk of my time. I come from Sia County, yes. But I go to Sia, but the time I spend in Sia compared to the time I spend in Nairobi, I spend a lot of time in Nairobi. So
Which means your political journey might be within Nairobi.
Exactly. Actually, I can't say it better. So what I'm saying is that if you look at last month and you look at this month, then there should be a difference, guys. There should be a difference. We should say that there is something that was a big challenge last month, but at least somebody has stepped up and has tried, has made the least attempt to solve that problem. As you are coming for this show, I was just telling him, this traffic jam here, this traffic jam has been here for the last, I don't know how many, around 2-3 years. This one has been here. It's just a small diversion there. You just get past that just a little bit. That jam is not there. And I was actually telling him, doesn't mean that nobody has been seeing this for the last 2 years. That this one needs to be solved. There's something that needs to be done here differently. So the problem that we have with our leaders today, and that is why I have an aspiration to be one of them. At least, if God gives me an opportunity to be one of them, I don't have to repeat the same mistakes. The problem with most of our leaders today is maintaining the status quo.
Okay.
Very few of us want to see a change, want to see that at least we had a problem 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 problems. Can I make an attempt even to solve one of them only and say that one has been solved, completely has been solved? Very few. And that's why, anyway, I don't want to speak for Right Honorable Matiang'i. He tried. Everybody can tell that. In as much as, I'm not saying I'm going to vote for him. I'm not saying anything. I don't want to be inclined politically. But I would have to say, while he was in the Ministry of Education, at least today there is a mark.
Okay.
One thing that he managed to solve completely, zero. He reduced it from whatever percentage it was at to zero. Exam cheating.
Yeah.
Exam cheating is solved it.
That we know him.
To me, that is good governance.
Okay.
That is good governance. At least we are able to point out one thing and we say, there was this one problem and you have solved it. I know people could have different schools of thought, could have different definitions of what good governance is. But in simple terms, to a layman, I would say, just do what you're supposed to do.
What is the difference between what is the correlation between people being loved immensely, popularity as a leader, and effective functionality or effective governance? Does it correlate? Does it mean if I'm loved by so many people, I'm a good leader? Or does it mean sometimes as a good leader there are things and decisions you'll make that people will disagree with, but you know that it's in their best interest?
It's a very thin line. Thin line between the two. You're talking about good governance and people loving you. I don't know whether in maths, I don't know whether we'd call it an intersection of the two.
Okay.
There is a bit on I mean, like we normally say, all principals are teachers. But not all teachers are principals.
Yeah.
We say it in education, right?
Yeah.
I think somebody can be loved based on how maybe they talk to people. You might realize that maybe somebody's just loved because the way they talk. They might not be good governance. They may not be
They're not good
practicing.
leaders.
They're not good leaders,
not
but people
effective.
just love them. Maybe because of how they look.
They know how
That
to
one also
manage.
happens. How they talk to people. They
know
are
how to
very
manage the
eloquent.
crowd.
And maybe they are good at dishing out money or something like that. People will still love them. But that might not necessarily mean that they will be good. They'll be practicing good governance. So I don't think there would be
The
a
two
correlation.
things, okay.
I don't think there's a correlation between the
Reinhard,
two.
what do you think?
The link between popularity, or let's call it fame,
Yeah.
fame and governance.
Is because there are two questions. There's a first question of what do you regard as good governance, which you'll respond to, and then there's a second part, which is what is a popular leader a good leader, or does it mean sometimes the leaders who are not necessarily popular are very effective? That is why they are not as popular.
Thank you. Now, good governance basically is providing solutions to
Yes.
the problems that are glaringly visible. It turns out that the manifestos that our politicians put up are actually manifestos that, when implemented, it could save the society, the community, big deal. So for me, good governance is basically doing what you said you would do. Secondly, living right with people. Power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. Should not redefine their perspective of the populace. They should still pick calls. They should still visit their village. They should still hang out. If they were campaigning while eating nyama choma or mahindi choma along they should keep on doing that, because again, it is not only, it's a mix of your social beat, your emotional beat, financial beat, and of course, putting to good use the funds that are meant to help the people.
What does good use mean?
If it is meant to, if 10 million is allocated for repair of this piece of, let's say, a road, the report must indicate the same, and the work itself should attest. The work should say, the way you're seeing me, 10 million was used on me. And not, as you see me, it is only 1 million.
Okay. Do you also have a similar political ambition yourself?
I don't have political ambitions per se, but I have ambitions of raising leaders.
Okay.
Wow.
I will feel so much fulfilled providing strategic guidance to the future politician.
Exactly.
Which means you're a politician as well.
Exactly.
Because if you're raising them, mentoring them,
Yeah.
it means it's in you.
Well, I'm trying to compare it with the leadership.
I know you're trying to sweeten it. You're trying to make it politically sound. You don't rub shoulders. But I understand where you're coming from. Eric, given that...
There's another question you asked, the second bit, which I think I missed out. The thin line between publicity or popularity and
Good governance.
good governance. I think those two should not be compared, either in the day or in the night.
But they are. You know why that is? Because today we have polls released every week about the top performing governors, MPs, MCAs. But based on what has been reported, we've heard about certain politicians who pay to be ranked on those polls. We have certain politicians who know how to put up a good show, which is not necessarily a reflection of what they're doing. So that is how people see it. So sometimes what should be is not necessarily what we're arguing. We're arguing what is. For example, I'm a man, right? And there are certain things I should accept that I can do as a man that a woman cannot. That is ideally what is. What should be. But then today, it's politically incorrect for me to say that there are things I can do as a man that a woman cannot. You understand? Mm-hmm. So that is the difference between in comparing popularity of a leader and the effective governance. So that is why I was comparing the two.
Can I say something about that?
Okay.
You just reminded me of something. Actually, to me, good governance, Mwinami, doing the right thing, or let me say the right things, they're never that popular.
Okay.
Actually, the day people would like you so much, people will clap for you, they will cheer you up, but the day you begin to do the right thing, you will have the least number of friends. Because again, you'll realize that doing the right things, sometimes it will mean that you'll have to step on certain people's toes.
Okay.
You'll have to cross certain people's lines. Mm-hmm. Because doing the right thing means, or good governance, actually, let me say, that's what I want to say. Good governance means doing the right thing, even if it is not convenient to do so. Exactly. It's not convenient. Even if everybody else is opposing it, but you fail, that is what the law says. The law says, release this person.
So does that mean then that some of the leaders who we've been told to dislike by the media or by certain individuals, does it mean there's something they're doing right? And some of the leaders who we are told are good, are sweet, are charming, there's probably a disconnect between their capacity to function as a good leaders?
Not really, not necessarily. But one thing I know, that may not be true 100%. But what I know, the moment you begin to do the right things, there are people that you love to, even if you're doing the road, and you're saying this road, it has to pass through this path. This road will be passing through other people's homes. Do you think there's anybody who will just accept they be relocated from? It will not be. But as a good leader, you said, looking at the architectural design, the drawing for this, where the road is supposed to pass and all that. The road is supposed to pass here, so whether you people you like it or not, that is where the road is supposed to pass. So we will not change because it is not convenient for certain people and it's convenient. Because again, whatever that is convenient for person X will be inconveniencing another person.
Sure.
So I really believe good governance, if you are somebody who is practicing good governance, most likely, not so many people will like you. And even if they like you, they will not like you for too long. Because it will involve stepping on certain toes and crossing certain paths.
In what capacity do you think as a leader, as you enter into your political pursuit, do you think you can make the most impact? Where do you think, or you will start like most to do, you'll begin as an MCA, MP? Or
No, I don't want to spill the beans too early. I would, we'll communicate that when time...
You didn't expect that question.
We'll communicate that.
You don't want to start making enemies.
Yeah, exactly. But the right time, God knows. But I really believe we are going to be there very soon. But I'm praying, and it is my prayer that if God can give me an opportunity to be one, irrespective of the capacity, then God will also give me the capacity to do the right thing.
Oh, but that is my thinking, which I don't agree. I think is not right. Some people not agree.
Yes.
But when you say when God does, God does, it means you're lending your agency, yet God has shown you a gap that you can be able to contribute towards changing.
Exactly.
And you're still now giving it back to Him to help you make a decision which you're supposed to be in a position
sometimes, actually not even sometimes, most of the time, it is very rare for you to find yourself doing something that is in line with what purpose God has for you. But one thing I know, because I told you I'm also a reader of the scriptures, the Bible, I have this conviction that when something is within the will of God, we'll not struggle with it. So if that time reaches, as I've said, when the right time comes, we'll definitely communicate which positions we'll be starting with. We will not struggle. So if it's not,
I understand.
You'll have to struggle.
I understand. But if it's within the will of God, you'll not struggle. It was within the will of God for David to become king, but How long did it take? How many battles?
It takes time, yeah. Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
It was within the purpose of God for Job to become, but
so I know.
Sometimes you have to.
Yeah, you have to step up and to do what you need to do. Of course.
As early as possible.
Yes.
So if you're getting in there, then it should.
Yeah, we are coming there. Okay. Don't be worried. That one is going to be. We are coming. It's a matter of time.
It helps.
Exactly.
Say if your son were to listen to you when he's 60 years and he would want to hear a message from his father that you think he would need to hear at that age, what should you tell him?
At that age, my son, I would tell my son that you know, like currently I'm running a company. Mm-hmm. I run a company. I told you I'm currently the CEO of Climax Motor Services Limited.
Yes.
I look at how much impact that company has had, matters regarding economics and stuff like that. How much money comes to my pocket through that company. And I'm like, how comes I never had this vision of starting this company immediately I exited campus? That is the same question I keep asking myself. Why did I have to wait for too long to start a company of my own? That is one thing I would really tell my son, if I would get an opportunity to talk to my son at 60, that don't wait. Start. Don't say that when I get a job, I will do this. Start. And by the way, running a company, being a CEO of a company has taught me that you don't need money to start a business. Exactly. That one has taught me clearly. That is something I didn't know. Actually, I thought I needed to get a job, take a loan, and go start a business. But running the company over time, there are projects that we do with zero money and happens very successfully.
Okay.
Big projects, yeah. We do with zero money. So if I knew this at the age of 20, 22, between 20 and 30 when I was just exiting campus, I'm telling you, we'll be further today.
But you'd be very cocky then.
Sorry?
If you are to do that the moment you exited campus, you'd be very cocky today.
What do you mean?
Because you'd have a clear path on what you need to do, where you need to do, and do it well for you to succeed. So nobody who has failed would be able to access you for you to tell them what it must do, because you know more than they do, and you've always been succeeding.
No, I don't think
You understand the difference?
I get, yes.
Because your humility today and your appreciation for what life is comes from your journey.
Yeah, true.
But imagine you direct from campus, and then an idea of setting a motor company comes.
Yes.
And then you understand that this is how the education system is going to evolve, and and everything you touch turns to gold. Anybody you talk to automatically agrees with you.
You know, even the company itself, we've had a couple of struggles here and there. Yeah, and we've always emerged victorious. So we can't say that even when we started the company, we had faced a lot of challenges. Maybe that is a story of another day. Even when you were registered in the company, we faced a lot of hurdles. I remember one of the directors, we are told the ID you've been using is not registered. I mean, it's deregistered. So you have to reapply for another one. And the company is supposed to be starting. We have the money. Actually, at that time, we had some money that you want to start operations immediately. But one of the directors, the registration cannot go through because an ID of one of the directors, we are told, is deregistered. So we have to reapply for another ID.
Okay.
We apply, the ID takes longer than expected. Now the ID, we go collect it. We have collected the ID, now we have the ID. We are told this ID has to be this. I don't know, some approval that has to be done. That one is just being done by one person. We don't know when this person is appearing in the office. I mean, we faced a lot of challenges. There is a time one of the directors in the company did a letter to the bank that we cannot be able to withdraw. We have a project that is just upcoming. The client is supposed to be giving us deposit in terms of millions. One of the directors has put a ban there that we cannot withdraw. I mean, we have had a lot of challenges. So the fact that we started this company doesn't mean that we have not had ups and downs. So irrespective, I really believe that even if we started this company from the time I exited campus, immediately exited campus, the challenges are always there. Even today, as we speak, we still have challenges.
Which is why
there's
a reason for you to appreciate the difficulties that comes with, or whatever it is you needed to do and fail so many times for you to appreciate who you are today.
True.
Right?
I agree.
So then, You didn't need to have known all this
Okay.
after campus.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's important today. Otherwise, after campus, yeah,
Yes.
right?
True.
And
Okay.
what do you think, Reinhard? if you are to speak to your son at 70, at 80, things happen. You never know what might happen, because I've seen parents disconnect from their sons, and you only understand your father after you become a father yourself. You only understand your father after you become a husband yourself. If you had to speak to your son at 70, at 80, in a message that you think he would need to hear, what message would be unique to him that you feel as a father you'd want to pass him?
The message would be a message that will seek to propel him to aspire for greater heights. That is in fulfilling who they were created to be. And just as he has put it, if I'm also to talk about how I ended up founding a company that I am running now in branding and digital, offering digital solutions, and helping businesses grow and also building people. When I sit back, at some point I'm like, I started at the right time. Because again, if I collect all my experiences, the things I went through, I realize, had I started earlier, well, perhaps it would have failed, because, so there is the right time for everything. The right time where you have matured in thoughts, in ideas, and now you have built the agility to move with this. You have, well, not everything figured out, but most of the things figured out in terms of what is this I want to do, and why do I need to do it now, and how can I now proceed? And of course, that one has to be borrowed from the wealth of past successes and failures combined. Now to my son, I would tell them, if they're doing something, I would tell them there is no limit to whatever they're doing. The world is still waiting for their solutions the more.
Okay.
And if they are doing nothing, I would still talk to them, because at some point, people get to certain ages in life and they lose hope and they're like, no, let me just leave, let me wait for my death. But if you look at the story of the founder of KFC, we all know it did not start when he was in his early teens or 20s. It was late in life. So there is no limit, and there is no template, and there is no formula for success.
Okay.
Start where you are. And as we were saying, you don't need money. The first thing you need is an idea. The second thing you need is the right network of people. The third thing you need is to start.
Okay.
That's what I'd tell them.
That's quite transformative. Are you fortunate to have your father still alive?
Yes, he's still alive.
Father's Day ulimtumia gift gani? Father's Day. What gift did you send him?
It's a challenge.
Well, it was not a
Didn't
gift
send
per
a
se.
gift.
So let's begin from afar. When was the last time you spoke to him?
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Okay.
Before yesterday?
It is not predictable.
Ah.
That is to say,
It comes up when it comes up.
sometimes it takes time.
Okay. So what gift did you give your father last Father's Day?
Not more than a phone call.
Okay.
Happy Father's Day.
How about Mother's Day?
Mother's Day,
What gift did you get your mom?
well, I didn't give a gift per
It's a
se.
challenge.
There was an M-Pesa.
Attached to the day,
Yes.
I always give him pesos.
But then again, we know the appreciation for the mothers are bigger than that.
Yeah,
Most
right.
of the times.
Up until you become a dad and then you realize the struggle. You appreciate them more. Eric, yourself, what gift did you get your dad? Are you fortunate to still have mother?
Yeah, I still have my dad, yes. Unfortunately, I didn't send a gift, but I'm going to send. That's a big challenge. Yeah, I'm going to send. My mother passed on while I was in campus, 2013. But one thing I can say about the same is that if God has given you an opportunity to have your parents, take good care of them. You know, I didn't know how important parents are, and the sacrifice the parents they give for you to become who you have become until when I became a parent.
Yeah.
I didn't actually, and especially the mother, I'm sorry to say, especially the mother. The mothers, they go through a lot for the child to become. I see my wife the way my wife always is with our kids. When they are still very young, they have to be taken to the hospitals, clinics, a lot. I said, if you still, this one I would say on the camera, if you still have the parents, you have your mother and you have your dad, all of them, please take. Actually, that is when I understood. When I became a parent, that is when I understood why the Bible. I told you I read the Bible. That is when I understood why the Bible says, honor.
Okay.
Honor your
father
father
and
and mother, so that
your days may be increased.
that is when I understood why that there is a promise tagged. There is a reward tagged on that promise. I'm telling you, the parents, they go through so much for us to have become what we have become today. Our parents played very critical role. You know, I see what we go through with our sons. I have 2 sons currently, Toda Miles, and Asaloch. Yeah.
That's a very special name, I presume.
I really love them so much. They always cheer me up when I go back home. Daddy, actually, I remember my son telling me, he visited one of our workshops. I went with him and he was telling me, Daddy, don't give up. You know, you've come from it. But I was like, this child is just 7.
And he can already see.
Exactly, can already see, Daddy, don't give up. You have really come from far. I was saying, this child, what are you talking about? So they really cheer me up every time. I'm at home, I come from work, they hug me, and I'm like, wow, these kids. Okay. So it has taught me a lot about parenting. And through that parenting, I've learned why the Bible had to categorically talk about honor your father and mother, that your days may be long, because I see the kind of sacrifice we have to give for the children to be, basically for the well-being of the children. Exactly.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Reinhard, both of your parents are still alive, huh?
Yeah.
You're a parent yourself?
Not yet.
But almost.
Very, very soon.
But we just shoot the question anyway.
Yeah, I understand. My question would be, what is your unique story with your dad that it's only unique to you and your dad and nobody else knows? An experience that you had that makes you appreciate your father more?
Number one, my father was like a policeman.
Okay.
He was very, very strict. He was very, very strict. And on matters grooming, on matters being specific on what you want, on matters never settling for less, on matters never allowing anyone to take advantage of you because you have 10 shillings and they have 15 shillings. And I think sometimes when I listen at the positive complaints people make about me, and the more positive praises they heap on me, I almost immediately connect them to my father. Yeah. Okay. I'm like, these things, I inherited them. And I am an entrepreneurial being. I think entrepreneurially. I move the speed of an entrepreneur. And part of the abilities I have is to think many things.
Okay.
And to imagine big empires being built out of me. There is one of those empires which I could build even today, which I borrowed from him.
Okay.
So there is a huge role he really played in my upbringing, which I will forever remain grateful for.
Okay. Would you ever see him fail at some point at anything? One thing that made you accept him being a man or a human being?
Several.
What is the one defining moment for you?
With my dad, when I was in high school, high school and day school, and I was very, very hardworking, very, very hardworking. I was among the best performing students in my school. Both in primary, I left a name. Both in my high school, I left a name, a big name.
Okay.
Now, he did not. We were several of us, and as I always say, an ordinary African homestead is such that is still not struggling, but trying to make ends meet. And so, if you have a number of kids to feed, to clothe, to pay rent for, and that to take to school, could be a bit overwhelming.
Okay.
Especially when you're not receiving millions in salary. And so I saw a man who was determined to see that we excelled.
Okay.
So much. The statement he mentioned many years after I had graduated from high school,
Okay.
was like, you know what? Had you failed, had you failed in Form 4, I would have repeated. I'd have ensured that you do all that you can do so that you can excel. Okay. And so that one, those are light moments that, when he says, we laugh at them and it's a comic relief for us. But now when you sit down and think, I'm like, no wonder he was so much passionate. Sometimes you'd even go to school, talk to teachers, and so on and so forth. The more I'm talking, the more I'm tempted to talk more. But the point is, he really believed in the success of his children.
Wow.
Without having the necessary resources to back up that belief.
Okay.
And that is something that I will never forget.
The reason I'm passionate about hearing this is because sadly, most fathers, because of course fathers die earlier, we hear about this in funerals.
Yeah.
And most of it is
Very
written on
unfortunate.
eulogies. They
True.
never get to hear it.
True.
So say you had an opportunity to say to your dad what would have been said at his funeral, what you'd passionately pour out to him at his funeral. What would your message for him be, your appreciation for what he has done and how transformative it's been in your life? So that if he never spoke at his funeral, this message would be everything we'd want him to know and appreciate.
Number one is the fact that he no, in the Bible.
No, just a minute. The reason I know you were hesitant is because bits of your remembering of him is somewhat emotional because you'd never thought about it.
The truth is, the African family is not wired to openly speak about their emotions and their feelings about
Your father.
many things. Many things. And the father being top of the list of the parents. And so that's why when you appreciate them, it is actually casual.
Yeah.
And casual, like, daddy, leo ni Father's Day. Nimekurushia kama 500 hapo. And so on and so forth. But I think my father first was showed us the way of salvation. He was very strict, such that no one who stayed in his house failed to go to church. How? If you fail to go to church,
How dare you?
don't come back to that house.
Okay.
You don't come back to that
dare you?
house. And there is the spiritual culture that he literally instilled in us. And I think coupled by what my mother was able to do from a prayer altar, we were able to we found our footing, we just found our way. So the first one is the bit of the way of life in salvation. Secondly is that bit of being strict, I think enable us to be is it well behaved or better behaved?
Yeah. To be better.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so we did not grow up with excesses. None of our siblings ever got celebrated as a champion of school riots.
Okay.
Neither were they hailed as part of the committee that was spearheading
Banning of schools.
Sorry. I get.
And I think that is hailing from the bit of being strict, so that we remain in line in terms of character.
Okay.
The third thing is now the bit of the visions of the future. He had visions of our future, and he really believed in us, and he really pushed to take us to the best schools,
Okay.
and to give us the best education that he knew he could deliver. And he many times used the skill of his tongue to not find his way through, but to manage everything. Manage those who are asking us to pay school fees, and manage every other situation. So I think those are key things, among others, which I would proudly praise him for.
That's quite a moment, eh? It's good to appreciate them and let them know that we appreciate what they've done.
Yeah.
As far as we've come. How about yourself? What is your unique story with your dad that is just a special moment for you and him that maybe none of your siblings would share?
As for me, I would say I majorly grew up with my uncle.
Okay.
The one my mother is following. Actually, I'm the only one. The one who I think I started staying with him when I was still very... Actually, in our family, we are 6.
Okay.
So the other siblings stayed with my parents. I somehow was so close to my... It's like I don't know whether my mother donated me to my...
There's that one
I
kid.
don't know how that happened. Actually, I'm the only one. He paid my school fees. My uncle is late. We buried him. Was it 2025? Yeah.
Okay.
Last year, yeah. Early last year, if I'm not wrong. Early last year, yes. So I started staying with him from when I was young in primary school, early primary. Already I was staying with him.
Okay.
All the way up to when, actually the other day when I was now becoming an adult marrying.
Okay.
That is when I stopped staying with him. And he equally had a very big impact on my life. That's why, that is the reason I cannot talk about that without talking about him. You get where I'm coming from, yeah?
I understand.
Yeah, so my modeling majorly happened at my uncle's house.
Okay.
If I didn't say that on this camera, I would be unfair to God.
Sure.
Because my uncle really played a bigger role. You know, somebody staying with you when you're still very young, all the way to university, and up to the time he was passing on, conversing, Eric, how are you doing back in Nairobi? How is job? How is business? Is somebody who kept on checking on me mostly. Only we bonded. So actually now the community thought now my uncle was my dad. You see? We were that close. My dad equally played a bigger role in my life. I remember when I was going to you talked about one particular instance. When I was going to the university, there's a time he sold a cow for me.
Okay.
He sold a cow for me. Then he sold a cow so that I could get money to go back to the university. You get?
That's quite sacrifice.
that meant a lot for me. Cows are so precious back at home. Maybe I don't know whether you guys grew up in the villages, but cows are so precious. Somebody taking their cow and selling so that you go back to school, that meant a lot. It touched my heart. And every time I was like, university, naona hii life, university inakuwa ngumu. That could keep pushing me to, you need to work harder. You get the point?
A bigger sacrifice somebody has made.
Yeah, somebody has paid a bigger sacrifice. The only cow available.
I see.
It's been sold, but so that you go back to the university and study, and then
you have to work.
I could really work hard at the university. The maths, at one point I was regretting taking pure maths because pure maths was hard at the university.
Okay.
Very hard. Abstract algebra. I don't know whether you did math, real analysis, the real analysis, but I don't know whether you did real analysis.
I hate difficult things. In campus, I was studying to become a teacher. That's why I went for arts.
Okay.
That's why to teach history. All these other difficult things.
Exactly. So sometimes life could be hard at the university and you feel like, I need just to forget, go back home. But if I could think of the sacrifice, my dad selling a cow for me to go, actually sold a cow twice for me to go back to the university and study. Because now for high school, my uncle took care of it. But now the university, there was a bit of a problem. So my dad really stepped in and he stood with me and I thank God. And then when I was very young, I remember my dad. Back in the village, I was telling you we had norms. You could be taught on societal norms, how you need to carry out yourself. So we used to eat from Granny's house. Who could you cook? Granny's.
Unaenda kwa anko kulala.
Granny's now, my dad's, my paternal grandmother's house.
Okay.
That is where we used to eat from. The whole, my grandfather used to be a polygamous person, married with many wives.
He was a big
so
man.
Exactly. So many grandchildren. So I used to be very slow when I was young. Actually, today I talk. Actually, I wonder how today I can talk on camera. I could not talk. I used to be very slow in doing things. Now you are in the granny's house, taking meals from the grandmother's house. But then all the children, we are very many children. The ugali is put in the middle here, and you are very many children.
You fight
exactly.
Place.
So it's survival for the fittest.
Sure.
But myself, I'm very slow. I don't know why I used to be very slow when I was young.
Okay.
So that could fight for me. He could divide a section of ugali. This one is
because you can't fight with everybody.
Back in the village, I used to be called boss.
Take your time.
Now when you just take a pinch of ugali and when you want to go back, the ugali is finished. You see, it's done because it's big, but you have so many grandchildren. So my dad really used to fight for me. Eric, he's slow. So with him, you take his kidogo, at least he can eat maybe later. Because now you'll not be able to eat. So he really used to be my defender. And that is something that I won't take for granted. I can comfortably say on camera, at least he really stood for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's quite something.
Yes.
And if, say for a moment, you were to speak to him and you were never to speak to him again, right?
Yes.
See,
okay.
It helps us to think about it,
yes,
so that we appreciate,
yes,
when we still have them. Because I try to imagine there's a day, if my dad lost his sense of hearing today, it means he will never hear anything I say.
Yeah, true.
So what is the one message you'd want to give him, special for him? Say it from tomorrow, he never gets to hear anything. Or if you never write anything in his eulogy.
Okay, maybe what I would say is that, what I would tell him is that he did his part.
Okay.
Yeah, so from where I sit, I live in Nairobi. Mm-hmm. They are back in the village. He might think that I'm not appreciating the role he has played in my life over time. Okay. In as much as during the Father's Day, I did not send a gift. But he must know that I value him and I treasure him. Because that is a calling, coupled with the role that he has played as a father in my life. I take it not for granted. So I would say that I'm grateful and I value the role that you played in my life as a father.
Okay.
Yeah.